My name is Brody Himmelberg, and this is my informative speech. I did it over the importance of the Air Force. So a lot of people don't believe we don't need an Air Force. They think that all the other branches can have their little own air parts to them. Like the Army has their own planes, the Navy has their own planes on their carrier ships and all that. So a lot of people don't think we need a separate Air Force branch. But what they don't realize is how much the Air Force really does and how much they help the U.S. military as a whole. The Air Force is responsible for 2/3 of the U.S.'s nuclear capabilities, and it would be hard for the other forces, obviously, to pick up on that. And they also manage all of the satellites and communications between the branches, so they help scout out areas and figure out where all the enemy bases are and stuff like that. And then they handle all the communications between the branches to make sure everybody's on the same page. Other branches would struggle to do this by themselves. They just wouldn't be able to do this, and it would become really disorganized. And they just don't have near the air capabilities that the Air Force does. They have a lot of stuff to help. And the other branches just don't have the resources. Like, they don't have enough planes, to make up for all of the everything the Air Force does. Without the Air Force, they become way too spread out and dysfunctional because the Air Force has bases everywhere, and they can hit anywhere that they want to pretty quickly. They're the most widespread. Planes hit way quicker than anything else that the Army, Navy, or Marines could do. Flying is the best way to react fast if someone hits us hard, which is another importance to the Air Force. They also are really good at dropping supplies and reconning areas. So like if the Army or the Marines are currently in a battle, you could use the Air Force to bring in supplies, help them scout out the area, figure out where everyone is at. And the Army alone would be a lot of responsibility if they had to fight and drop in more supplies and all that, figure out where everything is. The Air Force just helps them, and that's where the communication comes into play too. They help communicate and all that. And yeah, they're just good at gathering intel, figuring all that out. So they do a lot of the dirty work, really. They help out the other branches a lot. They don't do much on their own things. The only thing they do on their own is really quick strikes through the air on enemy positions and stuff. They're more so for helping out other branches. So, yeah. That is my informative speech.